Mixing with my career building tip is the do it yourself dilemma. One of the great things about the modern music industry and working with DAWs is the ability for artists to be able to do everything themselves. And so the what has happened is now people are no longer slaves to the industry. In other words, it used to be that the only way that you could go and make a record and work with people, it would be booking a studio, hiring an engineer who knows how to use the equipment, and working with a producer and getting professionals involved in terms of making your production. And this can be costly, and you may not necessarily be happy with the results, even though you're working in some great studios. There's so many variables and things that go in to recording in studio. So just, because you're sitting in front of a great console and a great studio, if you're not used to recording in the studio, then your performances may suffer dramatically if you're only used to playing live. And so these types of things were always a problem. And then in the era of the DAW and the affordability that it covers now over the last 10 or 15 years, where really almost anybody at this point can, if you have a computer, you can get recording software and you can get almost any plugin that you need for free, recording software for free, and really start making music yourself. So the dilemma of doing this all yourself is that you can't be an expert at everything. And so the benefit obviously is that you get the ability to experiment and learn and record your own songs. And usually the dilemma is that it takes you forever. You're never really satisfied with the results because you don't have the expertise in that particular field. And that is sort of the DIY dilemma. And this expands even into professional work. So if you are a person who's a really, really amazing engineer and you take on lots of other jobs, you build a business, you start doing taking on all these other things that you're not as good at, you think, but I can do it myself. I can be a mastering engineer and a mix engineer. It's like, well, can you really? Can you really be good and effective at both? Do you have that capability? And do you really have the ear for that type of thing? And this is something where maybe you want to be able to master your own records and you're really good at mixing, but you have a lot of difficulty. You can't afford maybe to get somebody to master, so you try to do all of the work yourself and you end up not happy with the results. And this is kind of like, just because you can do everything doesn't mean that you should, I guess, is the moral of the story. And I seem to be going around a little bit in circles here with this tip. But the basic idea is that sometimes you need to bring in help. You need to bring in other people who are experts at what they do to make what you do come out better. And that's our career building tip of the week, the DIY dilemma. Sometimes you need help, ask for it, get it, and work with people who really specialize at what they do. I think that's the real key to being successful in the industry.